What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So last week I was discussing how I'm having a cool off period this week in the markets. So in today's video I thought it was a great opportunity to dive deep into my portfolio to see how the overall portfolio is performing. Firstly, we'll have a look at to see which sectors are doing best and worst very briefly, and then we'll have a look through my 33 holdings from worst to best to see how they're performing. And finally, we'll give my plans on buying 2 brand new holdings, which will then bring my overall portfolio up to 35. And finally as well, we'll even discuss my plans to start learning and researching Bitcoin. We have a lot to get through in today's video, so let's dive right on into it. We can see on the left, we currently have €9,087 invested in the markets. 7,843 of that is my own capital, and 1,242 is capital gains, or 15.84% profit. Sometimes the best investments you make are the ones you don't make at all, as ironic as that sounds. But again, this week I wanted to have a bit of a cool off period just to reassess my overall portfolio to see if I have it allocated out correctly. And again, you'd be surprised how little you'd actually look into your portfolio overall once you have a substantial amount of holdings. So today I thought it'd be an ample opportunity to dive deep into my portfolio, firstly again to see how my overall sectors are performing in comparison to each other, and then we'll have a look at each of the 33 holdings as well. So the main reasoning behind this video is at the end we'll be able to look at what I need to improve on in terms of adding capital into different sectors or companies, and also by adding brand new holdings as well. So now firstly, let's have a look at my overall 12 sectors to see the worst to best performing sectors in my portfolio. So we can now see on screen how my overall sectors are performing. Out of the 12, only one is in the red at the moment, which thankfully is a very small sector in the form of a penny stock. It's down 15%. Now we only have the one holding here still in the form of High Tide. Again, we'll discuss this later on, but I'm very happy to hold this company. Obviously from videos in the description below shows that I really do have a lot of promise and potential for this stock going forward. So that's the only sector. Again, I know that penny stocks isn't a sector as such, but again, I just want to have it as a pie, so it's the worst performing at the moment. All other 11 are currently in the green, so I'm happy to see that. The best performing ones are industrials, up 38.76%, and communication services is up 31.68%. Now again, it shows the importance of evaluating your overall portfolio because, for example, I was under the impression that, let's say, my tech pie that's currently up 14.24, or even financials up 23.73 overall, I thought it'd be a lot higher in the list, and the likes of the industrials and communication services kind of more mid-table. So it just goes to show the importance of actually doing these kind of due diligences on your own portfolios. So as we have a lot to get through today, I won't go through each of these sectors here. You can see them on screen if you'd like to pause the video. But again, this is only percentages in terms of how my overall percentage is going up. It's not got to do with the profits. So if we did take my overall profits, this table might be a little different because, for example, in industrials, we don't have a lot of capital, whereas in the likes of the tech sector, we do. So again, you need to take that into consideration as well. Now, as stated earlier, my overall portfolio is up over €1,240, or just under 16%. So we'll have a look through very briefly now of my 33 overall stocks / ETFs to see what order they're doing in terms of performance from worst to best. Now again, we'll do this very briefly as we already do portfolio updates on a weekly basis, but I put all of this information onto an Excel as it's a lot easier to determine what stocks are doing well and which are not. So as it stands, I see there's currently 3 of my 33 holdings in the red. We can see the worst performing at the moment is High Tide, and again, ironically enough, this is one of my most promising stocks in my own opinion, doing my own due diligence and checking their fundamentals and catalysts going forward. Again, as I mentioned in prior videos on this stock, if you type in High Tide on Google, it's very hard to find any negative news on this stock. So again, I'd be interested to know if you could find any in the description below, because I certainly can't. So long term, I'm definitely holding on to this stock, even though it's down 15%. And again, for these 3 stocks that are in the red here, this is ample opportunity to cost average over the coming weeks and months, which I'll certainly be doing so. We then have the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF down 13.28%. Again, just like High Tide, I'm happy, very happy in fact, to hold this holding, and if anything, I'll be buying more to get my overall average cost down. Now, my third worst performing stock, again, I was quite surprised with, is Tesla. It's down 5.3%. So definitely, again, I'm having a cool off period this week, but next week, if this stock is still in the red, I'll sure to snap up a lot more of this because I do want to get my overall holdings in Tesla to over 1 full share. The next 5 stocks on the list are from 4 different sectors. We have 2 in materials, 1 in tech, 1 in consumer staples and consumer discretionary. We can see the likes of P&G and Nike are up over 2% each, and First Majestic Silver is just up under the 3% mark as well. Then we have the likes of Amazon up over 5%, and Barrick Gold, a new holding here, is up over 8.4% at the moment. Again, as there's quite a lot of holdings, I don't want to go into detail for any of these, so I just want to give a brief overview. The next 10 here are highlighted in blue. We have the likes of some tech stocks on the top of this list in the form of Microsoft and Apple, up 19.6 and 15.3. And then we can see in column A here, a lot of different sectors at play, which really does show the importance of diversification. Now again, if you'd like to pause the video and have a look through how each of these is actually performing, then feel free to do so as well. But I'm kind of more important or more interested in the top holdings on this Excel. We then have holdings 6 to 15 in terms of performance highlighted here as well. All of these are up over 20% each, so I'm very happy with that. We can see the likes of Caterpillar, which I'm very surprised with, is up over 52%. We then have the likes of some energy sector stocks in the form of Chevron, up 48.58%. And then we have Walt Disney here as well, leading up number 6 or 7 on this list, up 42.5%. But we can see again, just like my other sectors down below, there's definitely a vast array of different holdings here. My top 5 holdings are comprised of 3 financials. We also have 1 energy and 1 technology stock. So again, I'm quite surprised to have 3 financials in my top 5 out of 33. In 5th position, we have a tech stock in the form of Alphabet Class A or Google, up nearly 58%. So that's very impressive in my opinion. We then have financial stocks in the form of Bank of America, up 70.8%, and in JP Morgan, up nearly 63%. Now again, I really do believe that in the financial sector, I was kind of more lucky than anything when I got in. It was all about timing here, but it was, in my opinion, it was luck. Then we have Exxon Mobil, my second best holding at the moment, up nearly 79%, which is incredible in my opinion. And then my top holding at the moment is in the financial sector in the form of Goldman Sachs, up over 83%. One thing I like to do as well is have benchmarks, and that's certainly the case here in the form of having the S&P 500 and the FTSE 100. So we can see at the moment they are currently sitting in 12th and 14th position in my 33 holdings in terms of performance. So it's kind of nice to see that I'm kind of beating the benchmark a lot of the time. Again, 13 of my holdings are beating that, and again, some are underperforming that. But again, it's nice to see how they're performing in comparison to the overall ETFs across the globe. So after spending the last hour or so analysing this information in terms of how my portfolio is performing, I've kind of come to the conclusion on a few factors. Again, obviously I'm having a cool up here this week, so I won't be taking any action. But for next week onwards, I will still continue to dollar cost average into the 3 stocks that are currently in the red. Now they are High Tide, the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF, and also Tesla. So Tesla in particular, if those 3 are in the red next week, I'll certainly be buying more to get my overall average cost down, and hopefully in the long term making more of a profit. Also, having a look through my overall portfolio, again it's at 33 holdings at the moment. We did add in 2 recently in materials in the form of Barrick Gold and First Majestic Silver, but I do want to add 2 more holdings and cap it then at 35. So I want to add 1 holding into utilities and 1 into real estate. Now I already have 1 in real estate at the moment, but I'd like to add a second. So I have said that in prior videos, and people have given me some suggestions, so thanks very much for that, and I'm currently looking into that at the moment. So that's kind of my current portfolio plans at the moment. Now one new thing I want to actually start doing, and I'm probably late enough to the party as such, is to actually start researching and learning about Bitcoin and all things cryptocurrency related. Now I'll be completely honest here, I do not know absolutely anything about cryptocurrency at the moment, but I might actually start a mini series on this channel about learning and what I'm actually learning. Going forward, I'll start as a complete beginner, so hopefully I'll be kind of able to help more beginners going forward, and hopefully in the long term we'll actually be able to get what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is all about, and maybe even start investing in there myself. So with all that being said, that's pretty much the end of today's video. I just wanted to give an in-depth view of how my overall 33 holdings in my portfolio are performing from worst to best. We also had a look at how my overall sectors are performing in comparison to each other as well. And finally, we had a look through my plans going forward for this portfolio, and also my interest beginning in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well. If you found this video anyway helpful or entertaining, it'd be much appreciated as always if you consider subscribing to the channel. If you're new around here, and if you could smash that like button, it would really help the channel out going forward as well. I'll also be interested to know in the comment section below your worst and best performing stocks within your own portfolio as well. Thanks very much, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video.